At the height of Beth's rise, Aaron gives up the last piece of himself to push her dream into the spotlight. He waits for her return, holding only love and hope in his empty hands. But when she finally steps out of a black car, dressed in wealth and glory, her eyes no longer recognize the man who built her path. In that single moment, Aaron realizes sacrifice can turn into betrayal. Aaron stood outside the pawn shop with his father's old guitar in his hands. It was the only thing he had ever truly owned, the one piece of music that had followed him through lonely nights. But tonight it wasn't about him. Beth's big break was waiting. Her designs had caught someone's attention in New York, but she needed money for the show. Aaron walked in, placed the guitar on the counter, and watched the shopkeeper count out a thin stack of bills. It wasn't much, but it was everything. When he handed it to Beth, her eyes lit up like fireworks. She kissed his cheek and whispered, "You're the only reason this will work." In that moment, Aaron believed it. He never imagined that letting go of the guitar would be the first step to losing her. Beth's world began to grow while Aaron's shrank. She had late nights at shows, new friends, new followers online. Aaron worked double shifts at the warehouse, sometimes taking odd jobs on weekends. He bought her fabrics, paid for travel, and never complained. When she showed him pictures of herself backstage with people he didn't know, he smiled even though his chest tightened. Sometimes she came home smelling like a night he wasn't part of, but he ignored it. He told himself this was the price of love. When his friends asked why he worked so hard for someone who barely noticed him anymore, he just said, "She needs me. That's enough." But inside, he wondered how long a man could hold on when the person he loved was already slipping away. The day came when Beth told him she needed more, bigger shows, better fabrics, better opportunities. Aaron had nothing left except the warehouse job and his old car. Against his own judgment, he sold the car. He took buses to work just so Beth could fly out for her first international showcase. At the airport, he hugged her like it was the last time. "Come back to me," he said, but she only smiled like someone already halfway gone. Weeks passed and her calls slowed. Then came silence. Aaron stayed up nights staring at his phone, hoping for a text, a call, a sign. Instead, he heard whispers. Beth was seen with a man who had money, someone who could give her the world. Aaron refused to believe it. He kept waiting at the window, whispering, "She'll come back. She has to." When Beth finally returned, she was no longer the girl who once shared noodles with him in their tiny kitchen. She stepped out of a sleek black car, her clothes glowing with brands he could never pronounce. Aaron ran to her, desperate just to hear her voice. She looked at him like he was a memory she had outgrown. He told her he'd kept everything waiting for her, that he had nothing left but his love. She shook her head slowly. "You gave me everything, Aaron. But you have nothing left. And I can't live with nothing." The words stabbed deeper than any knife. He begged her, not for money, not for pity, but for love. She turned away, walked back to the car, and left him standing in the street, a man emptied of everything, even his own worth. Aaron sat alone in the apartment that night, staring at the space where his guitar once rested. His body trembled, not from anger, but from exhaustion. Every sacrifice replayed in his mind, the long shifts, the empty stomachs, the sleepless nights. He whispered her name, but the silence swallowed it whole. At last he understood what he had refused to see. Love without balance doesn't survive. It consumes one and feeds the other until nothing is left. Aaron stood, walked out into the night, and vanished into the city's shadows. Beth would keep shining on runways and magazine covers, but somewhere inside her glittering life, a quiet ache would remain. The memory of the man who gave up everything for her dream and disappeared when he had nothing left to give.